Good morning, good morning. Happy Friday. Hope everyone's having a great morning and a great trading session so far. I'm going to turn my camera on in just a second. News on the session, we do have medium impact news coming at 9 o'clock this morning. Good morning, Amelia. How are you this morning? Good morning, good morning. Oh man, what a morning so far. All right, making sure I don't have a lag or anything. Yeah, I knew it. I knew it wasn't on. Good morning. So it looks like the market is moving quite a bit. For all the people who swear the indicators don't work, look how much we have. This is I don't even know, what is that, a 1 minute chart? Look at how we have literally just pushed off of the major resistance level. Almost every bar this morning has touched it, and every time we've touched it, we've pushed down from it. Now that's a 1 minute chart. Let's see this is what it looks like on the 5. We are quite volatile this morning. Quite volatile, which I'm not that happy about. I swear it's mornings like this that I'm just like, I could have literally just stayed asleep. I could have. Oh, actually, I don't want to be in that. I'm probably going to lose it. I knew it. I didn't realize that it was the delta percentage was efficient. I didn't want to be in that. I thought it was only the delta. That's my fault. It's all good though. All good. 337. All good, all good. That's literally the only thing that screwed this up, was it being, that was too efficient of a move. So I am just trading one account today. Okay, point of control just popped up out of nowhere. I tell you what, it's very annoying to deal with no volatility for so long, and then next thing you know, it's just like extremely volatile. It's very annoying. I just want like a steady middle ground. That would be nice. That would be really nice. Just find a happy middle ground. Good morning, Pred. How are you this morning? Okay. Didn't expect us to push that far. I'm really hoping that I can eventually not care about the value area high and low and the point of control, because I've legit not even known where these levels were for the most part. At least, well, point of control I did on my old indicator, but value area high and low I didn't. I just don't like the fact that like if I'm back testing, I don't know where the value area high and low were. You know what I mean? So I just feel like, especially because it's a dynamic level, it moves all day, I wouldn't know where it is anyway. So I don't know. I'm really hoping that long term I can just not care. Hopefully I can just get back to, I can end today either break even or green, obviously would be nice as well, but yeah. So we came up to the major resistance level again and dropped from it. So we've kind of continued to drop every time we've hit it pretty much since the session started this morning. The level at 700.75. And mind you, that's a level that was drawn when the market opened last night. It's been respecting it all morning. I just knew we were going to push down right there. It's very weird that the point of control and the value area high are so close together. We're back at the major resistance level. We didn't touch it yet. We missed it by a tick, but I'm very curious to see how we react there again. So far on the 1 minute chart, we have tapped it 11 times, looks like. I'm sorry, 10 times. We tapped it 10 times. 10 times since market open. A few times we tapped it literally to the tick. Let's see, the 5 minute looks terrible. Yeah. It does. Renko is chopping between two of your pivots. Where's your pivot levels at? For me, mine is chopping between the major resistance level and the overnight, well, where I draw the overnight high, which is at 671. That's just from 2 a.m. to 2:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. I mean, we did come down and hit VWAP as well, but we pretty much just between these two levels right here. 670 and 703. Yeah. So my overnight high is at 671, and then my major resistance level is at 700.75. So our levels are pretty much at the same place. Pretty much. Good morning, Applejacks. Why are they stressing you out, girl? Come vent to us. What did they do? It's almost 9 o'clock news. Hold on, I'll be right back. Let me come back. Good morning, Bodine. How are you this morning? Good morning, good morning. People don't listen, moving up timelines, not properly communicating. Number coming out in watch your positions. Yeah, I always stop about 2 minutes before any news event, even if it's low impact, because especially when you're scalping, almost anything can affect your trades for real, for real. You know, sometimes Applejacks, I'd be wondering how, I would wonder how like my coworkers even made it in life. It's like if you act like this at work with your procrastination, your this, your that, that's affecting everybody, how are you in your everyday life? My goodness. That's what I'd be wondering sometimes. Let's see, 3K. All right, 689. So hopefully I can get a couple trades in. I mean, the market is actually moving really well, especially since I screwed myself on that trade earlier. I didn't realize the push was a little too efficient, which was not what I was looking for, but that's all right. It's gonna take some getting used to having a more negative risk to reward ratio. Actually, we might be in that, I think. Okay, maybe not. Oh, okay, yeah, I do. All right, we're basically back break even. But I like when I can just pretty much if I lose a trade, I can pretty much just win the next trade to be back break even. Right now, I can't really do that because of me opening up the stop loss. But like I said before, I think opening up the stop loss is actually going to help long term. So apparently this happened a month ago and no one knew until today, and they want stuff to start on Monday. What? So they moved a timeline and didn't remind anybody of anything? Things that make me not trust Big Pharma. Oh, there's a lot of reasons why I don't trust Big Pharma, and I worked with those people. Good morning, New. How are you this morning? Good morning, good morning. All right, I have to see 820, 829. All right. Not interested there. Yeah, see, and I feel like a lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times the value area high or low is also attached to, like, it's close to another level that's the same thing. So like the value area low, what I mean by the same thing is this value area low is very close to a lower VWAP deviation band, which means that that's a support level as well, low. So I would treat it the same. There are times where price attaches to the value area high or low and there's nothing else attached to it, but I'm quite sure that the point of control does not matter. Quite sure. This is why it's important for me to redo my analysis sheet, which, by the way, I did. So I wanted to make two separate ones, kind of, because remember my volume profile has been incorrect this whole time that I've been using this indicator until I think August 27th or 28th was my first session where it was correct. So there are parts of my original analysis sheet. Can't talk. There were parts of my original analysis sheet where, I wrote down that the entry bar was attached to the point of control and no other level, or value area high or low and no other level, but it wasn't real. Except when I was using the Ninja order flow indicator, then yeah, the point of control was real. But yeah, aside from that, it's causing some of my data to be incorrect. So what I wanted to do was redo the analysis sheet that I already had. But then also have one for when the volume profile was correct, because that could make a difference in some of the results. So I think it's important that I do that. So I should be able to get it done this weekend, honestly. But we'll see. We will see. Those equal volume of those swings. For 62. Good morning, Janelle. How are you this morning? It's going to close right on the pivot level. So we're at the middle pivot level right now, which is kind of another major level. It's the midway point between the major support and resistance level. Because of how volatile it is, I didn't want to get in here knowing I would have to break even right here. But it looks like we just pushed through anyway. When we're volatile like that, we can easily close the bar, slam, and then just slam down from a level. So I'm like really careful when I know I have to break even somewhere. I'm still hoping that eventually I don't have to break even anymore. I feel like if I'm using the right volume and order flow combinations, that I should be able to just push straight on through levels like this one just did. Because this was my perfect setup. Point of control is in the body. We're efficient on one and not the other, which is what I was looking for. There was quite a lot of volume in that bar to show how much effort was being put into moving the market up. We technically did push up off of the open range low, technically as well. But the open range low is not, high and low is not like a level that I really acknowledge in my strategy or anything. As far as like, it doesn't change the result of anything basically. All right, I'm looking for a pullback because right now structure looks like this: lower low with a higher high in the middle. So I'm not interested in that particular divergence. So let's see what happens. It's the exact change. It looked good on the 5-minute. Yeah, see again, value area lows right next to the VWAP. There's a couple of levels on my analysis sheet now where I make sure that I acknowledge what it is specifically, because I don't know if those levels matter or not. And the value area high and low are a few of them. But for now, I'll just still mark that they're there, kind of see how price reacts there. I bet you. Yep, I missed that one. Couldn't tell what the it's annoying. I missed this sale right here. I wasn't worried about point of control. Point of control is a level that like I don't ever break even at. I just let price do what it's gonna do. And I pushed right on through it. Pushed down a quick little 38 ticks. Nice. Applejack's what made you get on your shit. Money and stuff with no consistency didn't help. Yeah, that definitely doesn't help. Because you're always going to assign that money to something else. You're going to find a way, oh, you know what? I really do need a new couple pair of shoes. Or I really do want to go out of town. Or I really do want to, those things will take priority, because getting out of debt is not fun. At all. At all. But I tell you what, once you're out of debt, it is so hard to agree to be back in debt with anybody. I swear. Someone was asking me not too long ago if I wanted to get another car, and I'm like, for what? I've had my car for 10 years and I've put 70,000 miles on it. The car is literally in perfect condition. I've been debt free for 7 years, if I'm not mistaken. Something like that. Baby, I could not imagine paying somebody every month again. What? Only person I paid were, debtors that I pay every month at this point is my credit card bill. That's it. And my mama. Throw her some money every month. And that's it. I can't do it. I can't do it. You jumped in Russell during London, up 760. Nice. You held the trade for almost 2 hours. Is that long for you? God, others they have spreadsheets for their investments. So I made one that was like, oh, I should do that for my debt too. Absolutely. As long as he was awesome. Hell yeah. You don't go nowhere though, so and don't. And that's one of the reasons why. But no. Yeah, I think like for me, I don't know, I'm just not interested. I was supposed to be in that. Oh, hell. Well, it's gone now. So we just hit the pivot level. I think it would have, yeah, that would have broken even by itself anyway. Because it just hit 21 ticks. That was Applejacks. And her get out of the house. But the same way after I paid off my home. I swear to you, like you just look at debt like, who wants to do that? Not me. I'll drag both of you vampires outside and won't. My best friends will be like, so you mean to tell me if I just showed up to your house, you wouldn't let me in? No. Because first of all, who does that? Second of all, you can come visit all you want, so that don't mean I'm getting out the damn house. I know. Trade Fridays after an ice cream week and all that. Ooh, yeah, Amelia, I feel you. It's like I want to go into my weekend feeling good, feeling great. I do not want to be pissed off because I gave all my profits back, especially if you know you don't really like trading on Fridays. Damn that. Don't do it. And my light bright going on a mini trip tomorrow. It's the light bright for me. Just so I don't get tempted to trade. I feel that. See, this is where I get confused. Like, I would be in this trade right now, but the value area low is here, so I would want to break even here, but I don't know if the value area high matters because I've never known where it was. But you can see we're rejecting here, so I feel like maybe the value area low and high probably matter, but I'm for sure the point of control I don't have to get out of. But there's the TP there, especially since even without me opening up the stop loss, I would have been fine right there. So right now, if like the entry bar is attached to the value area high or low, but not any other level, I'm just not going to trade because I'm just still kind of confused as to how I want to play that. So we'll see. No one just shows up at the house anymore. We have cell phone now, baby. And I got their, well, one of them I have his location. So I would definitely be like, hey, why are you here in St. Louis? Because he just told me the other day, I'm just going to show up because you just refused to come see me. So why not? Oh, okay, try it. He's like, you going to leave me outside? Yeah, you better hope my mama or my grandma let you in because I don't do uninvited guests. I get enough of that every week with her brother. Okay. Well, he's not invited by me. He's invited by my grandma. But you know what I'm saying. I will leave you outside by yourself. All right, here's another one. I would be in that cell, but here's the value area low. And I don't even know. I think I do. 92. There's where the stop loss will be since it's opened up. See? It works now that I've opened up the stop loss. Oh well. So that's 2 trades in a row where I would have won, and we can just disregard. But I mean, obviously, you can see that it's a level of some kind of significance, because we do keep, like, even if we reject there just temporarily, we do reject there, you know what I mean? But I just don't know how I want to treat it yet. And things are just a little different now that I have opened up that stop loss quite a bit. 1087. So I don't know. That part has me just a little confused, just a little bit. I just really don't know how I want to treat that. It's been a very nice 2 weeks trading wise. Good, good. Do you feel like you've changed anything, Amelia, or it's been more so like the market conditions have just finally been back on your side? So after that stupid meeting at 10 a.m., you got screwed? Trading the session. Yes, finally shipped up. Decent trend long after open. It's not anywhere near as bad as NQ. Good morning, Paul. How are you this morning? Good morning, good morning. All right, we're at one of the deviation levels from the opening, the 30-minute open range. That's this little purple line right here. I still don't all the way know how I want to treat the divergence off the new highs and lows. I don't know, honestly. And for me, so far, okay, so before, at one point, it didn't really matter if it was a new high or low. But now, it does matter a lot of times. And I'm getting to the point now where I might just not trade it at all, which is fine, because a lot of times when we start pushing new highs and lows, you know, we do it a few times and then it's just like, you know, it starts to go the opposite way. But then there are other times where we will just continue going in that direction. So the reason why I feel like I just might make it to where I don't take the divergence when it's new highs and lows, like period, ever anymore, is because that's technically like new territory for the day. Whereas if there's a divergence trade, you know, somewhere else in the session, we have data from today, you know, we've traded there before, there's some kind of support or resistance there. Whereas right now, trying to take a buy, even though obviously you can have levels from previous days and things like that, you're kind of trying to catch a falling knife for real when it's, you know, continuing to push new lows for the day. So I don't know. I might end up changing my mind once I'm done with the redoing the analysis sheet, but we'll see. We'll see. My goal is to get it done by Sunday. I'm not sure how much of a realistic goal that is, but that's my goal. So after I'm done journaling today, I'm going to kind of like break it down, write down how many trading days of data that I have, and just break it up like, hey, I want to do this many this day, this many this day kind of thing. And then I do still also need to go back through last week's data, since I was on bid ask last week, and convert that to up down tick. That way I have, you know, even more data to work off of. But I'm pretty sure I'm pretty set in what I want to do with this. I'm quite sure. And what I'm probably going to do is also look at how many days of data I have so far. And if there's just not a lot of examples, let's say there are a couple wins or whatever, it's a good win rate, but there's just not enough examples to me in that time frame, I might just say, you know what, to hell with it. I don't really want to trade that combination. But then also I have to be very careful with that because of the difference in data that I have with the size of the bars. So I do have to take that into account as well. What is that? Oh, took too long here. It's a lot of volume. Oh, we pushed anyway. It normally doesn't work out that well. I would normally be in this, but I would have to break even there, so that's why I didn't get into it at some point. And I think also I might be able to go back to not caring about being inside of the zone, like where we just changed to an uptrend we rejected. And it's crazy because with the volatility that we had today and yesterday, I would love to be on a 24 tick chart instead of a 20. But I still haven't figured out how I want to determine how I want to determine my Renko size. So for now, I just gotta stick with the 20. I cannot imagine being on a 16 tick chart the last 2 days. What? Hell no. Hell no. Your green paw? Nice. Nice, nice, nice. I do like the pivots, so it gives me more levels to keep in mind. Got you, got you. Not enough for my rent. Sales. Y'all, let me tell y'all about my messy ass mama. And I have the right to call her messy in this moment. I sure do. This lady gonna ask me yesterday, cause it's his birthday today. Her ex-husband. She gonna ask me last night, well, since y'all cool now, you gonna call him for his birthday? I said, lady, don't play with me. Just because I'm finally at a level of peace where I can have a conversation with him without crying, without wanting to punch him in the face and all that other stuff, don't mean we're cool. Will I tell him happy birthday? I don't know. I told her there's 24 hours in a day, and if my spirit does not move me, then no, I won't be. How about that? She is so messy. She messy. No, she ain't funny. She messy. I show it today because the system is down. Technology. Why are you paying it today? Oh, because it's a Friday. You pay it on your payday instead of waiting until the 1st. That's a smart thing to do. Or the money order. Yeah, she played too much. I said, girl, what? Please don't play with me, lady. I am not the one of the two, okay? I'm I'm just saying, since y'all cool now, girls, stop it. No, and she furthermore, she didn't ask me if I was gonna tell him happy birthday. She said, "Am I gonna call him?" No. If the spirit moves my fingers to text him, sure. But like I told her last night, and I've told anybody since I had that conversation with him last weekend, anything I do is for my own level of peace, for my own level of not wanting what ifs and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, like it's not gonna ever be that. You feel what I'm saying? No, it's not ever. Because I am a huge believer that time does not heal all wounds. So that's just that. I should actually be in this trade. But we're inside the change zone. I'll take it. It's an eval anyway. Who cares? Up. And that's why I don't take trades inside unless we're at a level. Oh, look at that. Ain't that some shit? That is crazy. Well, that is one thing though. Opening up the stop loss gives me the ability to, like with stuff like this. Now this is kind of a one-off probably. But yeah. The bar closed and normally I would be out of the trade. I would get stopped out because of that, but you know, whatever. I'll take it. All right, so I'll look for the next buy. And literally the only reason I question this is because we're inside of where we changed to an uptrend. And I think even though I'm okay with taking trades inside of the change zone, I still believe that I need to, because it is technically like showing choppiness or whatever. So I feel like at the very least, the bar needs to be attached to a level. Doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be, since it's a range, it doesn't have to be like, oh, the green or red level and, you know, where we would change to a downtrend. It doesn't have to be that. It could be any level inside. So I think I'm going to do that versus like not take, because for a while I've been like not taking any trades in there at all. And I don't think I like that at all. So we'll see. I don't know. They're not getting their money early. Paul said, F that. I don't care how early I get paid versus my rent date. They're not getting it before the first, period. Person, I'm be stressing on the first to get home in time before the office closed. Yeah, true. What day is the first? Girl, that's Wednesday. I guess. All right, let's see. 64. Please don't hit the value area low. You hit the. Oh, okay. Well, that works. All right, now I ain't gonna lie. The next trade that, like, oh, I can get into it, but it's too close to the value area high or low, I'm gonna still chance it because I just watched 2 trades just go straight through it and I sat out of them because of how close the value area low was. I think it was the low at the time. All right, here's point of control. I forgot what the 64. We will have to stall here for quite a bit if I wanted to take this sell at the pivot level. Oh. Well, volume just validated itself, but we moved up instead. Okay, that works too. Basically, we need to beat out the volume of this bar here. That's the highest volume bar. This one almost beat it out. We need to beat this one out at this pivot level if I'm going to take the trade. Otherwise, it could be a pretty weak reversal. All right, and we're pushing through. Coolio. It's the other thing. I don't know if I want to use yesterday's point of control as a an additional like pivot level that I pay attention to. I'm not sure. Because again, for a long time, I didn't even know where these levels were. But they could have been affecting my trades and I don't know. No, I missed it, I think. I did. Now, this bar closed on yesterday's point of control, but like I said, I don't know if that even, yeah, I guess it does matter. Fuck. I'm gonna lose that trade. That's cool. I don't really like taking trades where we close on something. That makes sense. But I didn't know if that even mattered because I'm still trying to figure out if that level even matters right now. So it's just like a couple of little small kinks I have to work out, which is fine. And the only reason I think that I do need to take yesterday's point of control into account is because today's point of control is dynamic. It's going to keep moving around. And unless you are trading at the time, you don't know where that level is, right? But yesterday's point of control is static. So it's there. It is what it is. So yeah, I think that I do want to keep that one for sure. I should have been in that buy. But I didn't know if we would push through the close or not. So I'm just down a little bit, not too much. But yeah, I think I want to do that. Count yesterday's point of control as a level, but possibly not the current point of control. That's probably what I'll do. But yeah, this buy right here, I should have been in for sure. Just a buy off of the overnight low. That was a perfect setup. Gotta free my mental space. And my bestie's newly built apartment is falling apart. What? I tell you, like, it might sound crazy, but I'm always very leery of like newer things because I just feel like there's not as much craftsmanship. The materials are a lot cheaper, like quality wise, but we're paying more for it. I'm just always so leery of anything. Like, get me an 80-year-old brick house before you give me this plastic shit that they build nowadays. That's just me. That's just me. Let's see. I'm gonna push down instead, or what? Yep. I would have taken the buy right there if it worked. Oh my god, it's 9:45. Look at that. Newly built apartments be pure ass. Yes, balcony has a giant crack across the entire floor. Some of his cabinet doors in the kitchen randomly fell out. Now, come on. He moved in 3 months ago. Balcony being up 4 floors. Like, can you imagine being on your balcony? Baby, listen, I couldn't live there. I would be afraid to walk anywhere because if I go walk right there, am I going to end up downstairs in my neighbor's apartment? Really green this week. I need to journal due to trading a new indice. Yeah. So when you guys journal, for those of you guys who do, what do you typically journal when you journal? New homes are the same. Yeah. Pred, you like that too? Old is better. I swear to you. I just feel like so much more was put into that home if it was built before this new crap is out. Like, I live in a like, we do have siding, don't get me wrong, but like the lower half of our house is all brick. And these new homes that they build, I'm like, that just looks like a piece of plastic that is going to blow away as soon as we have a tornado. It makes me very uncomfortable. $3,000 a month? Baby, for $3,000 a month and a newly built apartment, I shouldn't have no problems for at least 3 years. If I'm taking care of what I'm supposed to take care of, at least $3,000 a month and you have issues like that 3 months in? No. Tell me you pay for cheap parts and labor without telling me you pay for cheap parts and labor. Cause nah. The time I took the trade, the instrument, why, the result, and a screenshot. Love it. That's pretty much what I do too. I do my P&Ls as well for right now. Eventually, I'm not going to do that, especially with me having TradeZilla. I'll just keep track there for the most part. But I do like keeping up with my drawdown on a daily basis. But because I do take screenshots, so like at the end of every session, the screenshot that I show you guys showing my drawdown and stuff, I actually save that every day, like literally every day. And I also go into Tradeovate and or Rhythmic, and I will take pictures there as well. Now, honestly, part of that is just for like, hey, I stop trading at the same time every day, pretty much, unless I'm trying to pass or blow an account or something. I stop trading at the same time every day. So if something weird happens, like it wasn't me. You can see every day I stop at this particular time. But legit, I'm going to show you guys this. I'm going to show you guys. Let me go here. So literally every day I take screenshots. You can see I started on YouTube December of 2023. And you can see I was trading back like before I got on YouTube, but I wasn't trading every day and I wasn't journaling. I think I was journaling, but I wasn't like, I was still doing too much in my life. I didn't have time for all that shit. But you can see I could literally go to the week. You can see I got pictures. So AD means accounts dashboard because that's the name of the indicator that shows me this. But legit, I can go back on any day that I have traded. There's May. Boom. Like I'm just a very meticulous person, and I just like having data. Trend analysis, support resistance. Nice, nice. Do any of you, I know recently we talked about, I think Applejacks brought this up. Maybe it was a video you watched. I feel like it was you. It could have possibly not been. But does anybody like, mainly when you are, maybe you're dealing with stuff, you're emotional, something like that, something that can affect your trade from that perspective. Do you guys journal that at all? Because I do. I can show you parts of my journal where I'm like, today fucking sucked. Oh, I actually hate trading right now. Like, I need to take a break. I do that too. And that's usually in really big letters going across the very top of the journal page. Because I need to know. If I go back, girl, how would you feel? Now, I don't allow, and maybe it's because my strategy has always been very mechanical, and that's been my purpose of making a mechanical strategy, so that no matter how I feel, it doesn't affect my trading like, oh, I go on tilt or anything. Now, it might affect my trading like maybe I can't concentrate as well, I'm missing trades, whatever, but I don't really journal how I feel from like that standpoint of, oh, this is going on, or I'm emotional today, so I went on till it ain't that. It's like, oh, today fucking sucked. That's what I do. Price of living in Echo Park in ATL, 2,500 square foot homes are running $1 million. Yeah, it's a no for me. Whether I follow my plan or not. So before the day, I'll put, for example, one for being green, one for following my plan. I like that. I like that. Put a bunch of thoughts in there. So I usually like at the top is me tracking my starting balance, P&L, ending balance, and how many wins, losses, break evens I took. And if there were any trades where I actually entered the trade but it just took off and it did not fill me, I do that as well. That's why it'll be a long time before I'm one of those, hey guys, I have 50 accounts. But by then, like I said, I'm pretty sure like I'll just use TradeZilla or something like that to track things. And then right below that, I have a section where I track my trail and drawdown on each account. And then I have a note section. And then after that is when I start to journal like trades and stuff. So always journal the trades that I actually took first. And then after that, I have a section where I journal like every reversal bar that happened in that hour and 15 minutes, just so I can continue collecting data for my analysis sheet to see like, hey, this trade might have won the first 2 times that it's set up. And that's what made you think, oh, this might be a cool little order flow combination that might work. But then the next 7 times it lost. It just doesn't work out that well. So I will say that pretty soon, probably another month or so, I will not need to journal that at all. Like, because by then I have enough trading day history where if it just has not set up very often, it just is not going to set up very often. But like I've said before a couple of times, Up Down Tick just does such a great job at grouping more trades in a section than Bid Ask does. So at this point, I'm more paying attention to which combinations, like where is most of the data for that setup grouped, and just kind of sticking with that. If the majority of the trades of where most things are grouped are wins, and have at least like a 75% win rate, I want to trade that combination. But if let's say that the majority of the trades for that particular setup happens here, but it's mainly losses, well, we just don't take that. Obviously, that's not a good combination. Even though the market sets up like that quite often, it's almost always a loss. So we're just, we won't take it. But that also tells me that like, hey, maybe in the future you can look at reversing there. So if this is a combination where it always loses, that means that at some point in time it's going to reverse before it hits the 22 tick take profit, which also means that it could be something where, let's say that this combination just does not work for the buy. It could be where as soon as this bar closes, I instead get into a sell, because if 9 times out of 10, it's not going to go the 22 ticks. And right now my stop loss is 28 ticks, remember? Then that means I can safely get into a sell right there and try to go the opposite way. That's something I might look into the future. Possibly not though, because like I've told you guys, every reversal bar on my chart it fits in one of the setups. It's either a pullback with the trend, a counter trend pullback, or divergence with the trend, or a divergence counter trend. So typically I could just wait and see, like, okay, let's see what this setup ends up being. But yeah, Janelle didn't send my rent payment, so I went on tilt. Girl, it's not placing emotions in trading after I left. Switched up the indice and the strat. Yeah, and see, that's another thing. If you find an instrument that is, it follows your strategy a lot better, I do think that can help you with pulling your emotions out of trading. Absolutely, because you're not as frustrated. Like, you're trying to make this strategy work for this particular instrument. It's not working. So you find an instrument where it's like, shit, this is smooth. I can have a very high win rate. Hell yeah, you shouldn't be trading something where it doesn't work out as well. It could be the volatility. It can be the lack thereof. It can be the volume, the lack thereof. It could be that this indice or this instrument is too choppy and I'm more of a trend trader, or vice versa. Now I have an old 10 for you. Jeez Louise. Her dinosaur can protect you in that tent. See you, Pred. Have a good weekend. You're going to go eat pizza? Good morning, One Stop Trader. How are you this morning? What kind of pizza you going to eat? While I wait for you to say that, let me show you guys my accounts. Hold on. Take the lock off. Oh, wait. Oh, I still have Monday. Like, I haven't traded my personal account this month. All right, let me show you guys the accounts or whatever. Again, I only traded one account today since the one renews tomorrow, actually. So we'll have that fresh for Monday. All right, so here's my accounts here. This is the account that renews tomorrow. So this account still has about $1,100 in drawdown on it. Honestly, I feel really good going into next week. Hopefully the market can be nice. But the first 3 days of this week, even though they were pretty, well, Monday, it was just kind of a slow grind up. Tuesday, it was a grind down. And then Wednesday was super choppy. Yesterday was pretty volatile, and today was pretty volatile. For me being back on up down tick, I would say this week was pretty decent. I don't really remember what my P&L has been each day, to be honest. Let me see, I have to go look. But considering I'm just now really getting back on it, I would say it's not that bad. Let's see. So I feel like Monday I didn't take any trades. Yeah, I didn't take any trades Monday. Tuesday I was break even. Wednesday I was down one trade, and remember that was the one that made me say, okay, we're gonna open up the stop loss, because hell nah. Yesterday I just lost $45, so pretty much break even as well. And oh, and the crazy thing about yesterday was that I wasn't even supposed to be in the trade that I ended up losing. Yeah, so that's that. And then today, I'm pretty much break even as well. So it's not that bad, considering when I switched back over this week, I kind of started off super duper restrictive because I didn't know which combinations I wanted to pull through, which ones I didn't. I also did not know how I wanted to treat the buy and sell rotation levels and the red and green levels based on, like, all right, if we're buying here, is it support or is it resistance kind of thing? Because it could really go either way. Based on structure, you would think that it would be opposite the color, but I kept telling myself, like, there is a reason why the developer of this indicator painted them these colors. So let's just stick with the colors and keep it moving. So yeah, I don't think this week was a bad week at all, for real, for real. I don't. Sausage, swine for the my grandma, I told y'all I had bought her some pork chops when we went to the Asian market last Friday. And so my aunt and uncle came over that night. Now, mind you, she tried to tell my mom, yeah, I'll cook us some pork chops. My mom was like, I'm not eating pork, Mom. Like, I'm not doing it. Girl, you gonna get some? She's like, no, I'm not. My mom doesn't really consume pork like that. Like, she'll eat pepperoni on her pizza here and there. Like, it's not, most of the time she'll do hamburger. I don't think, even when we go out for breakfast, which is not that often, I don't think she ever even gets bacon. She'll usually get turkey sausage. So she really tries to stay away from pork, but it's not like a strict thing like meat. Like, I haven't had pork since I was 19. But my aunt and uncle, so they come over. My auntie's like, no, I'm trying to stay away from pork. Baby, let me tell you something. My uncle said, shoot, any swine is going, what did he say? He said something about swine in his lips or something or whatever. And so he said, oh, I think he said, oh, that swine is going to touch mine. Something like that. When I tell y'all he tore that pork chop up, so in the middle of him eating it, my auntie was like, well, let me have a piece. Let me have a piece. But we don't really buy pork. My grandma has been living here almost 3 years, I think. And we don't buy pork. But she misses it because she eats pork. But we don't do that. How about some veggies? Oh, no. I'm going to eat some green beans later. Please use the term veggies instead. Oh. I usually, I'm a pineapple mushroom type of person. Might throw a few onions or peppers on there, but pineapple has to be on my pizza. Eat that pork, brother, man. No. So then look, so he was complaining because my auntie was like, yeah, he was mad because he doesn't live here. So he's in town visiting, and whenever he comes, he's here for like over a week or whatever. So he's like, she was like, yeah, he was mad because he looked in the fridge and he didn't see any pork bacon. But I told him I do not buy pork, and I'm not going to buy pork when you come in town. So she was like, I gave him some turkey bacon. Let me tell y'all something. My uncle said, yeah, she can keep that turkey bacon. He said, I'm not eating that crap ever again. He on curse. He said, I'm not eating that crap ever again. I was like, why, uncle? He's talking about, it tastes like rubber. I said, no, it doesn't. He said, yes, it does. So she like, well, that's because you overcooked it. And so we was like, yeah, you probably overcooked it. It don't take all of that to cook it because you don't have fats coming off of it like you do when it's pork bacon. So my grandma's like, yeah, you just put it in there a couple minutes, like not too long, flip it over a couple minutes, not too long, and you out of there. He's talking about, so is it already pre-cooked or something? Like, I ain't supposed to cook it thoroughly. We like, yes, you cook it thoroughly, but you cooking it too thorough. That's why it tastes like rubber, because you think that you cooking pork. Oh, he was pissed. He's like, don't worry about it. I'm not eating it ever again. Pineapple and mushrooms, yeah. But I get clowned for grapes and chicken salad. You absolutely do, because, okay, this is what I think of when I think of grapes in your chicken salad. I think of you taking a piece of chicken, okay? Get all the other stuff that's in there. You cut off a piece of chicken from a rotisserie chicken. Then you go to your fridge and you grab a grape. You cut that grape in half. You put that grape on top of your piece of chicken that you just cut off, and you eat it. That's what I think of when I think of grapes in your chicken salad. You're just eating chicken and grapes. I know it's other things in there, but you like the combination of a grape and a piece of chicken together. Not you feel what he's saying though. Don't do turkey bacon like that. I'm not gonna lie though. There are certain brands of turkey bacon that are better than others, but I also will say that I do prefer beef bacon, but beef bacon is so expensive. Like a pack of maybe 7 or 8 is like $7. I don't want no goddamn bacon. That's bad. Like, no, I'm cool. I don't even eat breakfast like that. Not you inquire. No, Paul, don't do this. Chicken mayo and grapes. Like, come on. She cut off a piece of chicken, put a scoop of mayo on there, Hellman, and then cut a slice of a grape and put it on there. She just, like, that's what I think of. I don't care what else is in that chicken salad. That is what I think of. And then you went corrupt. Because Apple Jacks, it just sounds crazy. But pineapple and mushroom, that go together. They go together. Because really, you don't have much of a taste from the mushroom. But chicken, like grapes have a distinct taste to them. Like juices fall out of there. And there's apple slices too. Okay. So you've now cut a piece of chicken, threw a scoop of mayo on there, cut a piece of an apple and a piece of a grape, and then you eat it. Do you not get how crazy this sounds? Because it sounds real crazy. Oh my God. How is that delusion, ma'am? Is that... I know there's other things in there. But come on. Like, no. No. Is it really delusion? Because all I've done is I've just deconstructed what the main ingredients in your chicken salad is. Okay. So what do you like? Obviously, you have to season the chicken salad, right? Because, okay, what else do you put in there? Because, like, for instance, I'm very simple when it comes to tuna. I'm not gonna lie. I throw the can of tuna in there. I put a little mayo, a little mustard, not too much. We don't want the distinct taste of mustardness. And then a little pepper. And I don't really use salt. So a little pepper. And that's it. So pineapple and mushroom. Absolutely. Sweet and savory. The sweetness from the pineapple with the savoriness from the cheese. The mushrooms don't taste like nothing. I promise you, I swear. My sister does not eat mushrooms. My mother does not eat mushrooms. Like, if I go saute some mushrooms, absolute no for them. I can eat it, but them, no. So when they first started seeing me do pineapple and mushrooms, they thought it was the most disgusting thing ever because they don't eat mushrooms. But guess what? When we order pizza, what y'all want? You can get a pineapple and mushroom. Oh, okay. Are you gonna eat some? Of course you are. You don't know what's in there? You get it from a restaurant? Okay, what's the restaurant you get it from? Tell me. Tell me. Which restaurant? Because I'm gonna go look up the ingredients. A hot, soggy pineapple on... But it don't be soggy. Issue emphasizing cheese for me. It's not ever soggy, though. I promise it's not. The chicken salad from Chick-fil-A? Is that it? Definitely don't do the pineapple on pizza either. Oh my gosh. Oh, no. Chicken Salad Chick. Oh, I did not know that was an actual restaurant. Okay. Y'all tripping. Put pineapple on your pizza, honey. Okay. Explore our menu. Made from scratch daily. Okay. So, which chicken salad do you get? Oh, wait, I see it. Dress it up with Fuji apples, seedless grapes, and pecans. You must get the Fancy Nancy. Is that it? Oh, now why wouldn't they put what they put in this? I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I've never heard of chicken salad chick before. You know, we have a couple of restaurants here that are like focused on chicken. And it just grinds my gears because what about the people who can't eat that? And they literally have nothing but chicken on their menus. Love me some Fancy Nancy. I'm really mad that it doesn't say like what's in it. That upsets me. Oh, here we go. Well, let's do the classic Carol says our signature chicken salad that got it all started, all white meat, shredded chicken, finely minced celery, mayonnaise, and our secret seasoning. Okay, so there's some secret seasoning in there. So now you eat grapes with celery and apple with celery. It's just too many different flavors in that for me. Too many. And then I can see the grapes just sitting there marinating in that chicken and mayonnaise. Oh, and pecans are in there too? Girl. My appetite has left the chat. Inside a croissant. Yeah, you can't eat that. Yeah, no chicken for me. Pineapples on cheese with mushroom. Yes. Throw you a couple onions on there. I'm going to tell you what I really like if I don't feel like being cheap and just getting like a little 2-topping pizza or a 1-topping pizza. I'll usually do pineapple, mushroom, onions, and peppers. Sometimes I might throw some Roma tomatoes on there too. Yeah. And it's got to be a thin cut pizza or thin crust pizza. I like the St. Louis style thin crust pizza, which is like that crispy bottom and it's like super thin. I don't really eat bread like that. The bread that I do buy is always keto. I might have you know what? I'm gonna make some cheddar bay biscuits today. I sure am. But I might have something like that here and there, but I don't really like bread. I don't. So I don't really like pizza that's made with regular crust. How is nobody else upset at this? I think they all are. You're just a little bit more upset because I'm talking about your Fancy Nancy. Cause like to see these big thick ass grapes just sitting here marinating in this chicken and mayonnaise is just crazy to me. Wait, what is that? Wait a minute. A flat Italian oven-baked bread known for its soft, spongy interior and crisp, golden brown, oil-rich crust. The distinctive dimples on the surface made by pressing fingertips into the dough before baking hold pools of olive oil and seasonings. That looks good. Oh, you know what? Look, hold on. The only reason I know what this is because I think this must have been when my sister was still living here. My sister loves watching like those different cooking shows. And there's some kind of cooking show that's like, what is it called? I'm gonna tell you. Oh, it's called Crime Scene Kitchen. And it's like you have to decode what type of, usually it's dessert, I guess, was made based on these clues that are left in this room that's set up like a crime scene. And that bread was actually on, I think I only watched one episode of it. And that bread happened to be on there. And the crazy thing was, I'm pretty sure in that episode, so there's like partners. And one of the girls was like, I know it's this. And she was saying that it was that particular bread because it ended up being that bread and it looked just like that with the flowers and all this other stuff. But the other girl was like, I think it's such and such. And she let that girl convince her that it was something else and it ended up being that bread. We had some with olive oil and balsamic. I'm not gonna lie. The one thing I do now, I will eat bread like if we're at a restaurant out somewhere. I love going to Olive Garden and that bread with the olive oil and a little Parmesan cheese, a little mixture with a little bit of pepper. Oh, that's the only time I eat bread when I'm out and about. That bread is delicious. It's crazy because I'm very carb dominant, so I don't really get bloated when I eat bread and carbs and stuff like that. My body is very carb dominant. And when I was growing up, we used to eat potato bread. And I would just break the edges off, ball the potato bread up into a real tight ball and eat it. I used to love bread, but I don't really. And see, my grandma, she's like super old school. Our family is from the South, so she's like super Southern old school when it comes to like eating and stuff, to where she almost always has to have a piece of bread with dinner. It's either a piece of bread or like she wants to make cornbread with everything. And she'll be like, y'all don't want no cornbread? No, girl, I don't. And so when she first moved here, she always would make her cornbread from scratch. And my mama like, girl, I buy Jiffy. You make that cornbread, I'm gonna buy my Jiffy and make my Jiffy. So eventually she started eating the Jiffy as well. But the only time I really eat cornbread, if she cooks it, is typically if she does navy beans sometimes. Just cook them down, whatever. That's something that she was raised on because she grew up in a house with 8 kids. So, they used to do little cheap meals like that. So she'll just cook some navy beans and cook some cornbread, and that'll be our dinner for like 2 days. That's like the only time I do want some kind of bread because I can't just eat beans by itself. Okay, I can't. Toppings on it, so it's like a sauceless pizza, but it's pretty thick. You never heard of Crime Scene Kitchen, Applejacks? About to watch this show I eat. Sounds cool. It's actually pretty dope. Like literally, like I said, the room is set up like a crime scene. So this one that I watched, it was like the crime scene was in a kitchen actually. So there were certain clues that were in the oven. There were certain clues that were in the fridge. And there's a bunch of clues in there. Some of the clues you need, some of them you don't. So it actually was a pretty cool little show. I'm not gonna lie. And honestly, I don't think I ever got in that whole, I might have watched 2 episodes. I never got any of them right. Ever. Skillet bread, especially if greens are on the menu. I don't like greens. I don't like greens. I've never liked greens and I'm never gonna like greens. It don't matter what you put in there, who cooks it. I just don't. I don't even care how you cook it. I don't like greens. But it's crazy. Like growing up, I was primarily a meat eater, meat and carbs. I ate fruits here and there, but I think the biggest reason I didn't like fruits is because how fruits were introduced to me was kind of, well, toxic. And now that I'm an adult, like I saw my mom eating strawberries, but she always, I don't know if y'all parents used to do this, like dip the strawberries in sugar. And since I was a kid, I've never liked sugar. I've never liked anything that was sugary or salty, ever. Like, I mean, I liked Kool-Aid, but by the time I was in middle school, I stopped drinking Kool-Aid because I saw the way my mom could, y'all, I've been grown since been grown, okay? I saw the way my mom made the Kool-Aid and I was like, how many more times is you gonna dip this the old school dish? I mean, she never just poured sugar, but she literally would dip the cup. She would put like freaking 8 cups of sugar or something ridiculous in a pitcher. I'm like, okay, wait. You got this little bitty pack of Kool-Aid. You just dip that cup in that sugar thing 8 times. This can't possibly be healthy. I can't drink this. I can't. Wait. You revoked my black card because I don't like greens? Okay, well, wait. Can I redeem myself by saying I like cabbage? Because I love cabbage. But I didn't like vegetables growing up besides corn and cabbage. That was pretty much it. Like, if it was green, it will not hit my plate or my fork because I'm not going to eat it. But I loved salads, though. I love salads. So I liked lettuce and I like cabbage. That was it. Anything else? Green beans? I just started liking green beans like 3 years ago. No lie. My mom will tell you that I'm not eating it. Broccoli. I just started eating broccoli about 3 years ago as well. Maybe my palate has changed since I'm older now. Cause baby, Now I still will not. Let me tell you something. I will not eat peas ever. I'm a texture person. The texture of peas when you bite into it. Just the thought of it. No. Kool-Aid was definitely too sweet for me too. Immediate diabetes. Okay, you back in the game now. Whew. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Oh man. Strawberry and sugar. Yeah, I just didn't understand. I'm like, so you just took something so healthy and just made it so unhealthy. And why is there so much sugar on your damn plate dipping these damn strawberries in there? No. You know what? Speaking of Kool-Aid, it reminds me, I don't know if you guys know the comedian Ali Sadiq, which, by the way, he just came here to do a show 2 weeks ago, because it was right before I cut my hair, so 2 weeks ago. And I love him. He is one of my favorite comedians, him and Michael Collier. But anyway, he has a stand-up on YouTube called My Two... I'm pretty sure it was the one for My Two Sons. I watched all of his stand-ups. But he has 2 sons, and he always says, like, I got 2 sons. I got an older son, and I got a new son. My new son is better than my old son. My old son, he reminds me of myself. He grew up where I grew up, in the hood. So he greets me a totally different way than my new son. My new son, he is beautiful. His name is Hassan, which means beautiful. And my son is beautiful. So he tells this story about how he took his new son, to the hood because he wanted to go to the hood. So he like, all right, I'll take you to the hood. So they go to the hood, visit one of his cousins. So he in there playing with his cousin or whatever. His son, I forget how old his son is, but maybe like 12, 13, I don't know. So he's like, his son just comes out of nowhere trying to get his attention. And he looking. So his son comes back out and he just goes like this and walks by again. So he comes around, he's like, Father, I'm jittery, Father. He's like, you jittery? I just drank some unknown red substance, Father, and I've been jittery. He said, oh shit, my son done had Kool-Aid for the first time. He said, because I know how my cousins make the Kool-Aid. They just pour the bag in there. I love him. Ali used to be on Def Comedy Jam back in the day. Yeah, I didn't even realize how long he's been around. I think he said he started comedy in 97. I don't think growing up I really watched Def Comedy Jam like that. I feel like my early memories of Def Comedy Jam just kind of comes from clips that I've seen. Like once I started getting on the internet in high school, I don't really think I watched Def Comedy Jam like that. As a kid, you better eat whatever is on the plate or you get your ass tore up. I did not grow up in a house like that at all. But also though, if it was something that I never had before, then I would be like, oh, give me a little bit of that. That way, you know, I'm not wasting stuff. I was just very aware as a kid. Like, I know how bad it is to waste food, but I also, like, my parents didn't try to force me to eat foods that I did not like just because they cooked it. Like, if you know I don't like that, don't cook so much to worry about my portion because I don't want a portion. And honestly, I hate parents who do force their kids to eat certain things or force them to like finish their plates and stuff. Now, okay, let me say this. I'm one of the, like my niece and nephew, for instance, nephews. If you ask for some food and I know this is something that you do eat, like it's not something you're trying for the first time or nothing like that, like you actually eat this and you, okay, I'm done. That's cool. But it's going to sit there because I know you're going to be hungry later. You barely ate and we're going to reheat this food right on back up and you're going to eat this because, you know, kids, when they get to a certain age, they're super smart. Ooh, if I just eat just enough, then I can ask for a cookie or I can ask for fruit snacks or I can, no, you're not going to fill up. And they know I don't buy like snacks for my house. You hungry? Cool. What you want? So you want some chicken nuggets and fries? You want some rotisserie chicken and some corn? Like that's what my options have always been. Because you let kids eat one bag of fruit snacks, now they done ate half the box. You know what I mean? So, but working in an eating disorder facility I think I was there for like 3 years, man, I really saw the effects because I didn't grow up in a household like that. I really saw the effects of what forcing food on your kids look like. And it's not pretty at all. Wasn't Def Comedy Jam dirty? It was kind of a mixture. But see, because I was like so mature at a very early age, my parents didn't mind me watching certain things like that. Like watching stand up that had a lot of cussing and talking about sex or just different things. Like my parents didn't really well, I will say my mom didn't care. The other one probably did care because, baby, let me tell you something. If we were at good example. Joanna Man came out, I think, when I was 13. I'm pretty sure. 12. So 12. I don't know why I thought I was 13. Okay. So Joanna Man and Lilo and Stitch were out in the movies at the same exact time. They kind of came out around the same time, right? So for my 12th birthday, I wanted to go see Joanna Man. All right. So it was me, him, my sister, and my cousin who has the kids, you know, the 3 kids. So we go to see Joanna Man. Now it was just us 4. When in the movie, Joanna Man, I think maybe it was when Tommy Davis Jr. or that's Tommy Davidson, whichever Tommy it is. I think it's Tommy Davidson. When he asked for Joanna Man's number or something, or while she was hugging somebody, gave the number, whatever it was, I barely remember the movie. He made us get up and leave that movie. And I had to go see Lilo and Stitch. When I tell y'all I was in that movie theater crying and ended up falling asleep crying because I cannot believe on my 12th birthday, a kid in 8th grade going to 9th grade, I cannot believe you made me leave Joanna Man to go see some fucking Lilo and Stitch. When I tell y'all that was the second to last time I ever went to the movies with him. The second time, or the last time I went to the movies with him, let's see, when Anger Management came out. When I was 13. So the very next year we go to see Anger Management. At the very beginning of the movie, they're in an anger management class and it's 2 lesbians and I think they kissed or something, if I'm not mistaken. Now this time my mama was with us. He said, oh no, we're out of here. My mama said, we ain't going nowhere. We're gonna find another movie to go. My mama said, we are not going nowhere. So at 13 years old, I declared I'm never going to the movies with him ever again. And when I tell y'all I've never been to the movies with that man ever again in my life, I mean ever. And I mean ever, ever. Every time they wanted to go to the movies as a family, y'all go. I'm staying home. I'm not finna do this. No. I used to love hanging with my hood cousins. My mom didn't want to create picky eaters. My dad didn't care, but yeah, she would not eat a little bit just to get a treat. Exactly, and you're not supposed to. And see, I wasn't I wasn't much of a picky eater. Like, I'm going to try anything, but once I know I don't like something, like, you can't force me to eat it. I don't care. You could tell me I'm going to sit there all night. I will fall asleep at that table and go to school the next day. That's fine. I'm not eating the shit. Oh, why? Thank goodness for your mom, child. Because, like, he's very old school. And this is what I will say. I do believe that when it comes to parenting, there needs to be a healthy balance between old school and new school, right? I do think that some newer parents are a little too lax. Like, I don't believe the thought process of your kids should, like, you shouldn't be friends with your kids, or your kids are not your friends. I do not believe that, and let me tell you why. There is a certain level of trust you build in your children. Like, I don't believe in having a relationship built off of fear. I don't. I do not. Because if your kids fear you, there are a lot of things that your kids are going to do behind your back because they fear the repercussions. They fear the judgment. They fear getting their ass beat, getting yelled at, cussed at, called out of their names, and everything under the sun. Now, obviously, there's a fine line between I'm your parent and I'm your friend. And I'm going to put that in quotation marks. But there's a certain level of trust, respect, and comfort that comes from not fearing your parents. And I believe that a lot of kids, especially in today's time, maybe not our generation, but I have a lot of examples in our generation as well. When your kids fear you, it just is not a good look. And a lot of parents who grew up raising their children that way, they don't have good relationships with their adult kids. They don't. They just don't. And it's for very good reason, in my opinion. Like, for me growing up, he was the one where if we're in a car, we have to listen to old school R&B, which is why to this day I still listen to Anita Baker, Johnny Taylor. The Temptations are one of my favorite groups ever. He's the reason why I know music like that. Now, if my mom is driving and he's not in the car, we were always listening to the newest, the latest, and greatest hip hop and R&B. We got this video. I probably was maybe 6. I'm finna see when this song came out. Release date. So it came out when I was 3. So I was probably about anywhere between 4 and 6. There's a video of me rapping Salt and Pepper, What a Man, from start to finish. And I got on this long sleeve shirt and I got my mama's bra. It ain't even hooked up in the back, but I got my mama's bra on top of it. And I'm just rapping and rapping like I knew newer stuff because of my mom. And there was a lot that, I mean, obviously a girl and her mom, you know, you're going to feel most of the time more comfortable talking to your mom about stuff. But there's just a certain level of like peace and comfort I had with my mom because she didn't make me fear her. You know what I'm saying? Kids who had parents who were pastors or grew up heavily religious. And I was going to say that. I was going to say that most people who raise their kids on fear are either heavily religious or come from families with heavily religious backgrounds where like that parenting based on fear has been passed down through generations. Because most religious people fear whatever their maker is, you know? And I just don't think it's a good idea. I don't. There were only a few things I never felt comfortable talking to my mom about. And usually it had to do with a situation with him. And it wasn't that, I think my being uncomfortable talking to her about it was like, I don't want to, like, she loved his dirty draws, right? I didn't want to ever feel like, oh, because I told my mom this happened or whatever, that like this causes an argument with them. Because I never saw my parents argue, which I also think is very toxic. There are certain things your kids do need to see, because it took a very long time for me to know how to have a healthy disagreement, because I never saw arguing. Like, why are you disagreeing? Not why are you disagreeing with me, but more so like, I've always been in relationships with people who grew up in toxic households, so they want to argue. I'm trying to have a healthy disagreement because I've never seen arguing, and I don't know how to have a healthy disagreement with somebody who's trying to argue. You know, there's just certain things that your kids do need to be exposed to. But yeah, I just felt comfortable talking to my mom about almost everything, unless I felt like if I tell her this, it might cause a problem in their relationship. And I don't want to feel like I'm the reason why they have a problem in their relationship, kind of thing. My parents let me, because Janelle, girl, screw you. They did. They did. Because, shoot, girl, listen, I'm going to tell you something. Studies show that people who curse have lower blood pressure. And people who cuss people out have even lower blood pressure. No. But they did. But it was more so like, at first, it was like a funny, like, girl, where did you get that from? But then once they realized that it was because the neighbor used to watch me all the time and she cussed like a sailor, like, what am I supposed to do? These are the words that are around me all the time. Like, this is all I hear. Of course I know the words and how to use them. My bad. And so, rabbit hole, I noticed a lot of those guys grew up Amish on the morons. It was some sick stuff that they revealed. Did you have you ever seen that documentary about that family? Hold on. That family that like basically have all had kids together. I forget where it is. I feel like it's in maybe it's not in Utah. Hold on. You said incel and it made me think of incest, and it made me think of this family in the documentary I watched some years ago. Famous family documentary. Maybe it's called Inbred Family of Appalachia. No, I don't think it's that. The Whitakers. I think it's the Whitakers. Meet the Whitakers. Have you ever seen that? No. Yes, it's the Whitakers. No. Like, not that all the kids are the same age, but they are all a product of incest. And, like, all of them have issues. Every single one of them. So, all of them are a product of incest. I could not watch it. Let's see. Where... it's West Virginia, yeah. You just saw the story. I watched it, and it was the most... I'm trying to think of the word that I want to use. It was the most... I don't even have a word for it. Yeah, I don't have the word for it. But it was just crazy to see how literally every single one of the kids had something wrong with them. Just crazy. Yeah. It's a few of them there white, yeah. Brandon, may you ask my age? Hell no. Your mama ain't never taught you don't ask no woman her age. What's wrong with you? No, I'm just kidding. I'm 35. Yeah, they're white. This is, yeah. So these are some of the kids here. Um, let's see. The surviving family tree is currently comprised of siblings Betty, Lorraine, and Ray, as well as cousin Timmy after their brother Freddie died of a heart attack. There's reportedly an unnamed sister and other family members that the lady had never met. Of the three remaining relatives, only Timmy graduated high school. But yeah, I think some of them, yeah, some members only communicating via grunts and squawks. They understand what you're talking about. If they don't like it, they start yelling, let you know they don't like that idea. Like literally all of them have something wrong with them pretty much. They're living in poverty on top of that. Um it was just insane to watch. It was just insane to watch. It was. Has a YouTube channel. He has a lot of deformities. Yeah, it's very like I just talked to my grandma about this yesterday. I think it was yesterday, maybe the day before. But we were talking about how difficult it is to raise kids that have disabilities. We don't have very many kids in our family that have like disabilities like that. Actually, I can't really name one. Maybe a couple behavior disorders, but not like disabilities, you know what I mean? But there's somebody who has been going to her church since I was a baby, who has a child. Well, he's like 25 now, who has intellectual disabilities. I think he's like kind of a lower functioning autistic child. And so we were talking, and I was telling her how, because I asked her if he still lives with his mom, if she's still trying to take care of him. That's her only kid. And she said, yeah. And I said, I wonder sometimes because he like is super violent, like punches holes in walls and stuff. And he's like super tall and like, I'm talking huge. Like he could really overpower her. And I was like, I wonder why she hasn't put him into some type of like group home or something. And we were just talking about how a lot of people won't, because of maybe people passing they don't want people passing judgment on them because they put their child in a group home. But me working in psych as long as I have, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, from a professional standpoint, it's hard to take care of somebody for 8 or 12 hours that have certain like disabilities, disorders and things like that. I cannot imagine like that being in your home like that. I don't mean that as in like saying that person. I mean like dealing with that type of situation in your home 24/7. I don't blame people for putting their kids in a professional place where they can get professional help 24/7. That's hard. That is very hard. There's a family in GA in which the father was having kids with his daughter. Ew. Ew. They have a top. He appears to be. Oh my God. Let me look this up. That is so fucking disgusting. Does Marcus Wesson sound right? Wait, no. Father married his daughters, murdered 9 of his children. Okay, I don't think that's it. um I never heard of this story. I just typed in family in Georgia where dad has kids with daughters and granddaughters, and this story about Marcus Wesson pops up. But they talk about incest and stuff with that one too. What's my trading strategy? Oh, I ain't even trading right now, but I trade with Renko candles, and why does that look like? Oh, because I turned this off. Sorry. I trade with Renko candles. I have different levels on my chart: order flow, VWAP, prior open high low close, current open high low, and some pivot levels. And basically I look at volume, which is what's down here. I always enter whatever trade I enter, I'm going to enter at the close of a bar. And I always look at the volume of my entry candle versus the highest volume candle in the swing that makes the last swing before I enter. So like if I'm entering here, I look at the volume of this candle versus this candle because that's where the highest volume is. And then I look at order flow. So I have an order flow indicator here, which I can see inside the bar. I have another chart over here that you guys can see, so I can see inside the bar to look where the point of control is, who's in control of the point of control. And then I just basically look at the efficiency of the delta to determine if I'm going to enter a trade or not. I think the guy who did the documentary got pushed back due to making money off of them while they lived in poverty. So he made money off of their story and didn't give them any of it? That's insane. But you know what? That reminds me of, what is it, soft white underbelly or something? I wonder how much of that money he gives to some of these people, because he gets millions of views. And I wonder how much of that he gives back to these people, which at the same time is kind of hard, because knowing that the majority of people that he has on that show are drug addicts, I don't really think it's smart for him to be giving them money, because all they're going to do is put it into drugs. But I feel like at least a certain percentage, and I don't know if he does this or not, but a certain percentage of the income that you make from that channel should be put into an account that can be used to help some of these people go to rehab. Psych Wars and GA are set to close this year. What? Really? Wow. That is terrible. Let me tell you something. That's pretty bad. That's not good at all. A lot of kids are products of severe addictions that cause a lot of deformities. Yeah. Guy's first child's mother was killed by his second child's mother. She was sick. Trenches. Is that the one where she had a restraining order, I think, against the baby daddy, and the baby daddy and the new baby mama showed up at the school or something? Like they got into an altercation and she shot her in the face at the school. Is it that one? Janelle, it's a black guy. Hold on. Yeah, tell me the name of that person, because I want to watch that. Is that the one you're talking about, Trenches? Because I did hear about that one. I wonder. No, the shooter, she had an order of protection. Ah, got you. Got you. So was the first baby mama actually there dropping her kid off? Like, because I saw the story when it first came out, but like when I see stories like that, if I don't see an update like come across my screen, I don't ever like go looking for an update. But I do know when people were talking about her being released with no charges, people are a little slow. Like, if they don't have enough evidence to prove that wasn't self-defense, they have to let her go until they get the evidence, obviously. Now, hopefully the school has some kind of, cameras or something to show whatever the altercation was. And if the girl actually felt, well, not what she felt, if the law shows whether or not they can charge her with murder based on whether or not it looked like she could think that her life was in danger. You didn't hear about that, Janelle? Girl, that was all on social media. And I think y'all know the internet. I think when the story first came out, they were talking about how like maybe a couple weeks or a couple months, I don't know, somewhere on her, the one who got killed, somewhere on her Facebook page, I think she made a post talking about killing somebody or something. Let me see. I think it's, the girl's name is Romika Meeks. I'm pretty sure that's her. I feel like that's what I saw, was that mm, see, I can't find the post that I saw where they were where they were showing like what she had posted on social media before. Yeah, I can't find it. I don't know. First child's mother supposedly was bringing lunch and they got into it then. Because somebody was saying that the second child, the second baby mama and the baby daddy were in different cars because he knows she has a gun all the time and he can't be around guns because he's probably a felon. They said that some people are saying that they fought, other people are saying that they didn't. Apparently there's a Hispanic lady that was there the whole time who said they never fought. It was just like a verbal altercation or something like that. I don't know. Who was on the local news here? He was a cult leader. Malachi York. Yeah, I never heard of him before. Oh, he got 135 years. Criminal charges: child sex abuse, rape, racketeering, conspiracy, and tax fraud. He's an American cult leader, black supremacist, and convicted child molester. He established strict sexual practices within the community, reserving for himself sexual access to many women and girls, including wives and children of followers. Husbands and wives were separated from each other and from their children, with York only allowing them to live together once every 3 months. only through prior appointment in the green room. This is what I don't be getting. I'm going to save my judgment, but I don't understand. People have a problem with living within pretty loose rules. I don't understand how people, unless you are a child yourself, I don't understand how you can see cult behavior and, oh, I want to be a part of that. I want to not have access to my husband for 3 months. Like, what? Oh. And this is why I think sometimes religion can be dangerous, because you put all of this faith and oomph into people just because they present themselves a certain way, and you just, it just never makes sense to me. Let's see. Anonymous letters were sent to Putnam County officials alleging child molestation at the Nuwaubian community. The FBI, which had started investigating the group in 1993, assigned a major task force to it and made to see. This is the other thing. You cannot sit here and tell me y'all started investigating this group in 1993 and it took you till 2002 to arrest him and his wife. York was charged with more than 100 counts of sexually molesting dozens of children, some as young as 4 years old. State prosecutors had to cut down the number of cases against him, which numbered over 1,000 to about 200, fearing a jury simply wouldn't believe the magnitude of his evil. He entered a plea bargain that was later dismissed by the judge. He was convicted January of 2004. He tried to claim status as an indigenous person. I'm weak. He claimed that the court had no jurisdiction over him, asserted that he was a secured party, and answered questions in court with the response, "I accept that for value." He was convicted in federal court by a jury of multiple RICO, child molestation, and financial reporting charges. He was sentenced to 135 years in prison. Some of the Nuwaubians relocated to Athens, Georgia after his arrest. I used to live in Athens, Georgia. Not his projected release date is 2021-20. Yeah, I'd never heard of this case before. That's insane. I need to see if I can find something on YouTube that makes sense. I see they arrested someone for unaliving that couple along with their baby in PA. I didn't see that. Second BM can't. Pulled up on her rears. So having it, she has an order of protection in place and says she was in fear for her life for her infant child. Oh, got you. The second BM can't fight. But I wonder, Trenches, if that can hold up, because if you have an order of protection, that's fine. But if the first baby mama was there dropping lunch off for her child, ain't that what you said? Yeah, so the first child's mother was supposedly bringing lunch, and they got into it then. So if I'm bringing my kid lunch and I don't even know that you're there, I mean, technically when she saw her, she was supposed to turn around. If the girl has an order of protection and you got to stay however many feet away, that's kind of hard, because even if somebody is violating an order of protection, that doesn't give you the right to kill them. And if video evidence shows that, regardless of you saying you fear for your life and your infant child, if video evidence shows that it wasn't a threatening situation, because you can't kill somebody because you're arguing. You know what I'm saying? And you can't kill them because, oh, we're arguing and I fear for my life and I have an order of protection and this is the way I'm protecting myself. You can't protect yourself from an argument by shooting somebody in the face. I don't know. fork with one of his victims. She was brainwashed. Yeah, I mean, yeah. A lot you have to be brainwashed to be in a cult of any kind. You have to be brainwashed to a certain extent because certain shit just don't even ever be making sense at all. Let me see. He last called his group the United Nubian Nation of Moors. These were at first based on pseudo-Islamic themes in Judaism. Later, he mixed ideas taken from Black nationalism, cryptozoology. What the fuck is that? Cryptozoology, Christianity, UFO religions, New Age and sovereign citizen movement, and popular conspiracy theories. Cryptozoology is a pseudoscience and subculture that searches for and studies unknown, legendary, or extinct animals whose present existence is disputed or unsubstantiated. I cannot talk today. Particularly those popular in folklore such as Bigfoot, Yeti, Chupacabra, the Jersey Devil. How is this part of your teaching, sir? What does Bigfoot have to do? Okay. UFO religion. A UFO religion, also called a UFO cult or flying saucer cult, is any religion in which the existence of extraterrestrial entities and communication with them is a core belief. Typically, adherents of such religions believe the ETs to be interested in the welfare of humanity, which either already is or eventually will become part of a pre-existing ET civilization. This man mixed some of everything. There are states that allow child brides. Yeah, I don't even understand how that's even still a thing. They created compounds all over the country. Yeah, I had never heard of this story before. That's why I tell my folks, if you ain't really ready to take all the way there, don't be trying to have physical conflict with people. Absolutely. Let me tell you something. I have had to get on my mom about honking her horn. If I'm riding in a car with you, don't honk your horn at people. People kill people for stepping on their shoes. I don't want to die because somebody cut you off and you want to, like, don't get me wrong. I honk my horn, like, you know, if somebody's veering into my lane or does something crazy, like, I'll just like, doo-doo, like, hey, pay attention here, you know? But to like, mm-mm. Because when people ask you how I died, you got to tell them I got shot because you honked your horn. You wanted to hold your horn for 5 seconds because somebody cut you off. No. When you're confronting people, you don't know what level of crazy they willing to go to. You don't know. Because for me, personally, there is almost nothing anybody can do if my life is not in danger, okay, genuinely not in danger. There is nothing anybody can do to me to make me think to myself, because I'm a very logical person and I don't just act off of emotion ever. There's nothing anybody can do or say to me where I'm like, I would like to spend the rest of my life with 3 hots and a cot behind bars for 23 out of 24 hours a day. No. No. You can sit there and argue with me all you want to. First of all, I'm not finna sit here and argue with you because I don't argue with people. So you gonna stand there and argue by yourself. But there's just nothing. Like, nobody can make me that mad where I think that it is worth going to jail for the rest of my life. Nobody can make me that mad. Nobody. Everybody ain't playing. She knew they was there. Her car blocked their car in. That changes things, because why are you blocking her car in? Okay, now she can. Still, the video has to show that she literally even looked like she thought that her life was in danger. That is insane. Yeah, she looked crazy. That girl admitted that she was taken off the streets of NY at the age of 9. She had a twin and her mother was an addict. But not because you got road rage. Exactly, Amelia. Girl, I tell them, don't. This is why I drive. And I really don't like riding with people anyway, but I hate driving. So, and my mom's a good driver, but when she started doing that, baby, I'll drive. Don't worry, I got this. My ATL never honk your horn at anyone. Baby, we had a this was probably, I feel like this was during COVID, so it was in the last 5 years. We had a situation on one of the, so we have quite a few highways here, but basically 270 and, well, you can get on 70 from 270, but basically a lot of people go 270 to 170 to get to like the city, basically. And so there was a lady who was driving, a black lady. She was driving, she had her son in the car. They were on 170 and they were coming to because 170 ends at 270, so you either go left or you go right. And so she was about to get on one of the ramps to go left, to go west. And I guess this guy, I don't know what I think maybe she accidentally cut him off or something like that. And so he ended up cutting her back off. And I'm pretty sure she didn't cut him right back off after that. It was just like, okay, this man is crazy. He waited until they got on the ramp. Skirt. Pulled his car in front to block the lane. Got out of his car. Shot her car up. A white guy. He was pissed. And thankfully, none of the shots hit her or her son. People are insane. Like, yeah, no, And I think that's what it was. She accidentally cut him off. He cut her back off. She honked her horn, left it at that. And less than 5 minutes later, they get on the bridge or the ramp, and he cut her off to where she couldn't go nowhere and shot her damn car up. Let people drive how they want to. Let them do whatever. After 2020, everyone's girl, yeah. I feel like we got put in a new dimension when COVID came. I think maybe people sitting in their houses, not being able to socialize and things like that. And I just think it went to people's brains. And I just think everyone went insane at that point. Let them have the damn road, period. They trying to pressure the state's attorney to give charges on her, the father, but as it stands, no charges. So, bait her into being into it for her to attack the second mother's. Yeah, she didn't have to engage. I'm gonna tell y'all what's crazy. So around the time when my parents started separating, how do I say this without telling business? There was a person that was introduced into our lives that wasn't supposed to be there. You can take the hint. And so this person literally admitted, I still have the audio from it, admitted that a day, so I used to work overnights as a nurse. And a lot of times during the day, I would be at home by myself. My sister's at work, my parents are at work, whatever. So the person who is a new person in my life that ain't supposed to be there admitted that while I was sleeping in a hard sleep after a 12 and a half, 13 and a half hour shift, they were sitting on my property in a car by my mailbox. This person is 10 years older than me, by the way, They were sitting there with their cousin and their best friend, waiting for me to come get the mail so they could jump me. They were sitting out there for hours. I had no idea. First of all, you have to be the most dumbest person on earth to think that I would come out of my house. Now, mind you, I have a very long driveway. Very long driveway. You think when I open up my front door and I see a random car sitting in front of my mailbox with 3 people in it that I'm going to go to my fucking mailbox? You are a stupid bitch. So after that situation, I was going to get a restraining order because how dare you? What the fuck is wrong with you? I was going to get a restraining order, but let me tell you why I did not. First of all, I don't deal with ratchet people. Okay? I'm not a ratchet person myself. I'm very clatchet. Okay? I'm classy ratchet. Get it right. But anyway, I don't deal with shit like that. My safety, let me tell you something. I didn't grow up in the streets. I didn't grow up getting into it with people. I didn't do none of that. I lived my life a certain way so that there's a certain level of peace and safety I can have in my life because nobody should have it out for me. I ain't did nothing to nobody. All right. I am a very firm believer in treat people the way you want to be treated. I didn't do all of this to stay away from that type of lifestyle to deal with that with a person who was introduced into my life that ain't supposed to be there. But the reason why I didn't get a restraining order was because my mom said, look, girl, obviously this person who is now brought into our lives that ain't supposed to be there ain't got all the screws in her head. They pretty loose or they not there. And the one thing you don't want to do is piss off ratchet people who clearly have nothing better to do with their time. You might make that person even more mad because this person has a professional career that could be put on the line because of this. So we're just not going to do that. It took everything in me. But I told y'all there's a huge level of respect I have for my mother because I was not raised on fearing my mother. So I took her advice and I left it there. But I said, if this bitch do that shit again, she's out of there. You hear me? Out of there. But that was the reason why I didn't do it, because I was not trying to bait somebody into being even more crazy than they clearly already are. And you have to think about shit like that. Like, because sometimes when you have a certain mindset, you grew up a certain way, you totally forget that there are people out here, especially like, I'm not going to lie. It ain't like we were rich or nothing like that. But because pretty much everybody in my family, like, we're all middle class. There's, we don't have a bunch of like drug addicts and like ratchet. We don't have a lot of that, right? So there's a certain, I wouldn't say rose-colored glasses because I'm very aware because I have friends that did not grow up like me. But sometimes you just forget, like, not everybody has it all together. Good morning, Leo. Hi. I just was Olivia. What time do you get off today, by the way? The world's always been crazy, though. Yeah. Restraining order, making that one phone call for a small fee. Baby, listen, the phone call alone was just insane to begin with. And it's funny because while she was in the process of admitting that she did that, her friend, who, it was crazy because when the phone call first started, she pretended like she was her friend, but we hear your friend in the background. Her friend was, don't say that, girl. They probably record. She was like, she probably is. Bitch, I was. The fuck? So you're dating her. Just shut the fuck up. Trent, just stop talking to me. See, this is why you know how to use context clues. So you ain't got to tell people business with, I don't know what she is in this moment, but at the time, she wasn't supposed to be in my life. I wasn't supposed to know who this lady is. I wasn't supposed to know none of that. You feel me? Those crazy people don't give a crap. They got nothing to lose. Exactly. And I'm going to tell y'all how I knew her screws was loose. Because I'm going to tell y'all why she showed up to my property. I have stories for days, y'all. 4 to 11. Oh, GG's. Wait, are you on 2K right now? Wait, it's 12. Are you on 2K right now? Because if you are, I'm gonna get the fuck off this bitch. Okay, but I gotta tell them this story though. So this is why this person who wasn't supposed to be in my life showed up at my door or on my property at the end of my driveway. So, parent who's no longer really in my life, who my mama think I'm cool with now. Parent is a grown ass man who don't know how to admit to shit and don't take accountability for anything. I'm one of the only people in parents' life who holds them accountable for anything. Okay. And one thing I do not like is liars. I don't like liars. I don't like, especially when you lie about something that I got evidence of. I don't need to show you the evidence. Motherfucker, I got the evidence. That's why I asked you questions that I asked. Remember I told y'all my best friend said he don't argue with me because he knows that if I am debating you, it's because I have all the evidence I need to tell you you're a stupid motherfucker. Okay? So, parent who's a grown-ass, old-ass man who does not know how to tell the truth is lying, even though I have the evidence. So, I decide to get answers myself. So I send an anonymous email. You know how like you can go on real estate websites and it says contact the agent? This is how I sent the email. Now, this is what the email said. That married man is not who you think he is. The honeymoon phase that you're in right now is the same honeymoon phase his wife was in 30 years ago. Whatever businesses you think he has, whatever money you think he has, he actually does not have any of those things. You should watch out for that. That's literally all I said. I didn't say no names. I actually was giving said person a warning. This person is not who you think he is. I'm actually probably the only person in his life that knows him for who he is. Okay? Nobody else saw it but me. I saw it as a kid. That's why I don't like him. That's all I said. That is what made this person want to fight me because I'm giving you a heads up. I didn't call you out your name. I literally gave you a warning that whoever you think this person is, he's not that. Speaking from somebody who's been in his life every day of his life for 30 years of their life, okay? You want to know why the person said they showed up? My boss could have seen that email. Her boss was my cousin, by the way. My boss could have seen that email and you trying to mess up my career, Bitch, you don't think you sitting here trying to jump me on my property would fuck up your whole career? You don't think you getting a felony if you did try to beat me up? You don't think that would fuck up your whole career and make you lose your license and not ever be able to get it back? Are you stupid? You're stupid. You're stupid. New boo in the chat? No. Leo is one of my closest friends. She would have been blocked. Had the block spin on her. Because what is wrong with you? No, Leo's been my friend for like probably, I don't know, maybe like 6 years now. Somebody threatened my kid. I'm getting a ass job. And this is the other thing, Trenches. See, listen. Oh, Trenches, I don't think you were here. I think that was Monday where I was talking about how like I had a whole 45-minute conversation with him in person on Saturday. When you sit here and tell me I need to leave somebody alone, I have not done nothing to this person. And her reaction is what made me, oh, okay, so it is what I thought it was. Because said black man who's grown as fuck, who's not admitting to anything, because I didn't say any names or anything in my email, oh, she just showed me, like, both of y'all are stupid. She just showed me exactly what it is. Thank you. Thank you for my answer. But he would tell, Y'all need to leave that young lady alone. Bitches, you stupid. He told me on Saturday, oh, nothing was going to happen to you that day. Motherfucker, you wasn't here. And furthermore, you forgot I had to call the police on you because of your threats, constant threats, walking around with your fists balled up in your hand and doing this and walking up on me. I told you I had to sleep with a knife for like a year. I was having nightmares. He was trying to kill me in my sleep. Okay. So why would you think that somebody that I don't feel, I feel I need protection from, you think I think that you're going to protect me from something, and you are the same person that I'm trying to warn you. You need to leave her alone. Are you done? Like, this is why I told him on Saturday, I don't give a shit about you leaving my mother. Don't care. And his face when I told him, actually, I prayed. When I was younger, I used to pray that y'all would leave each other. What? Yeah, because you're not the right person for my mama. Period. Nobody cares about your divorce. It's everything else that came with it that didn't need to come with it. You left my mama clean. Like, hey, I don't want this no more. Bye. With all the extracurriculars, hey, we'd have been cool. But, he's a fucking clown. And mind you, remember I told you I have the audio from a phone recording of her admitting this stuff? You want to know how? She ain't called me. You want to know how she got the number? From him. I would never. So why my mama being funny? Since y'all cool, I would never be cool with somebody who puts me, my mother, or my sister in harm's way. Ever. And this is why when he said, I made a mistake. No, motherfucker, you didn't. No, you did not. You were how old was he? 59 years old. You made very conscious decisions. You cannot call that a mistake. There is nothing. No. You made very conscious decisions based on your ego. Don't ever use the word mistake with me. And that's why, like, I accepted his apology for me. Because that's part of my healing process. But I've told people, him apologizing don't mean shit to me. That don't mean I'm finna be kikiing with you and calling you and wanting to go to lunch with you and shit like. No. Because first of all, if you were sorry, you'd have been. First of all, don't put yourself in a position to have to be sorry about anything. But if you were sorry, it wouldn't have taken 5 years for you to say you're sorry. You feel me? No. So while the conversation was great on Saturday that we had, and I was able to get out some of the things that I needed to get out, because no matter who I talk to about certain things, until I say what I got to say to that person to their face so that they feel what I'm saying, there's a certain level of healing I can't get to. So there's a certain level of conversation and things that's going to naturally happen because I need that for my own therapy and healing. If he gets something out of it, cool, but this is not for you. This is not for us to develop a relationship. This is not for none of that. This is part of my healing process. And once I am healed, baby, you're out. That's it. It's too much damage. I forgive people for what they do to you for yourself. But I'm not going to forget. I'm not even allowed to forget because my main memories are either really happy moments or like shit that just affects me like negatively, like really, really bad. And he has way too many, he has given me way too many memories on the bad side. So it's like, all right, we sitting here at lunch and you could just look at me a certain way or say something or do something. And it's going to take me back to that. And now I want to punch you in the face again. So I'm cool on that. Good morning, Timbo. How are you this morning? So yeah, I was dealing with a lot. Okay. A lot. When I tell you I had to take a break, that is honestly why when I got onto YouTube almost 2 years ago, I had stopped working in nursing about a year before that. I was still doing my credit repair business and stuff, but literally, like, during the process of all of that, not only did I, as my individual person, I had to deal with a lot, because it was not just things he was doing to hurt my mother. It was stuff he was doing to me too, right? Again, I had to sleep with a knife. So not only did I have to work through the emotions of that, I was like 29 when all of this happened. I had to work through the emotions of that. I'm the oldest sibling, so I also have to hold and help with the emotions of my little sister. And then because I'm pretty sure my sister lived in the house at first, but she moved out at some point during all of this. And my grandma wasn't living with us yet. So I got my feelings and emotions, my sister's feelings and emotions, and my mother on top of that. That was a lot. When I tell you I needed a break from life, I am not kidding. Because if I did not take a break from everything, I would have checked the fuck out of here. There's no way. Like, it just was too much. And again, when you don't grow up in a toxic environment and toxicity is brought to you, to your environment that you don't need to deal with, you don't have to deal with, and you don't want to deal with, like, take that somewhere else. So this, like, peaceful praying person that he's presenting himself as, and it could be that, like, hey, like my best friend, when I was telling him about the conversation this weekend, and I was telling him how he apologized like 15 times, and he even texted my sister an apology like later that night, and then text me another apology later that night, or it might have been the next day. I think it was later that night. And my best friend said, is he sick? Is something wrong with him? Because when I tell y'all, this man don't apologize for shit ever in life. He don't. As a matter of fact, he has always lied about shit. I didn't do that to her. I don't know why she keeps telling people I did that to her. I didn't do that to her. So it could be because my best friend was like, man, y'all had that conversation in a cemetery of all places. A cemetery. Probably a lot hit him all at once. And this is the first like real conversation that y'all have had in the last 5 years. And as a parent who had their kids in the household for 30 years, that's a lot to have two kids. Your only two kids are not talking to you. And that's great, but I'm not here for that. We not doing that. I don't want to rebuild shit because ain't anything to rebuild. But again, whatever I have to do for my own healing, I'm going to do. But that nigga is crazy. He's a cuckoo bird. And I think that now he's realizing that everything does not revolve around him. But, you know, he took a little too long to realize that. Period. Who is this? Hold on. But yeah. Y'all, I am here way after I'm supposed to be. It's been almost 2 extra hours. I'm not finna do this. All right, y'all. I'm finna get out of here. I need to journal and start getting my life together for the weekend. Like I told y'all, it's a lot that I need to do from a trading perspective. Just mainly redoing my analysis sheet, which is gonna take so long. But I am glad that I stayed up for a while last night doing all the data from this week and like from 2 weeks ago or whatever. But I definitely need to get that done because I am really looking forward to next week. I feel really good about everything. I think the biggest thing right now is if I can figure out which combinations I like where I don't have to break even at levels and things like that, unless it's some opposite, like I'm buying into resistance or something, that would be really nice. But yeah, I need to get a lot of this stuff done. I got other stuff that I have to do outside of trading related stuff, so I need to start now. I'm not even gonna take a nap today. We'll see. Thank you, Janelle. You too. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Great discussion, great commentary. Love and laughs. See ya, Amelia. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Please like the video on your way out if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't already. But other than that, I will see you guys bright and early Monday morning at 8:30 Central Standard Time. Enjoy the rest of your day, your weekend. Be safe, and I'll see you guys Monday. Bye.